you?
Oh, what brings you to town?
Oh, for fun.
What else should bring someone anywhere? Eating as usual, I see, Andrew. Actually, what are all these cups set for? Bonbons? Reckless extravagance. Who's coming round?
Oh, just Aunt Augusta and Gwen.
Wonderful.
Yes, it is. But I'm afraid Aunt Augusta won't quite approve your being here.
You know why?
My friend, the way you flirt with Gwen is perfectly outrageous. It's almost as bad as the way Gwen flirts with you, eh?
Oh, I'm in love with Gwen. Wouldn't want to come to town specifically to propose to her.
I thought you'd come up for fun. I'd rather call that business.
You're absolutely unromantic, you are.
My friend, there's nothing romantic about marriage. It's all very romantic to be in love. But there's nothing romantic about a definite proposal. The very essence of romance is doubt. If I ever get married, I'll be sure to try and forget about it.
Well, I don't doubt that, Andrew. The divorce courts were purposely invented for people whose minds are so curiously comprised.
Divorces are made in heaven. Don't touch the bullet bonds. They're for Aunt Augusta and Gwen. And besides, before I allow you to marry Gwen, first, you have to clear up the question of Claire.
Claire? I don't remember the name Claire. What do you mean by Clara? But you had my walking this whole time. You should have said! I've been writing hysterical letters to the police about it. I almost put up posters.
Yes, but now I look at the cassette and the tape inside, I find that the thing isn't yours after all.
You have no right to read what is written on the cassette tape. It's incredibly intrusive to read the cassette tape of a private man.
Oh, pish posh. More of half of modern culture is what you shouldn't read.
Oh, I don't intend to discuss modern culture. I simply want my Walkman back.
Yes, but this Walkman belongs to somebody who knows Claire. And you said you didn't know any Claire.
Well, if you want to know, Claire happens to be my aunt.
Your aunt?
Yes, lovely old lady she is. Lives in Tunbridge Wells. Please give it back, Andrew.
But then, why does your aunt, who lives in Tunbridge Wells, call you her uncle? From little Claire, with love, to Uncle Johnny. I don't understand. Besides, your name's not Johnny, it's Frank.
It isn't Frank, it's Johnny.
Frank, this is perfectly outrageous you're saying your name isn't Frank. Yeah, you introduced me as Frank. I introduced you to everybody else, Frank. You look like Frank, you walk like Frank. Frank, you're the frankest person I've ever met. It's perfectly outrageous you're saying that your name isn't Frank.
Well, my name is Frank when in town. I'm Johnny in the country. And that cassette tape was given to me in the country.
Tell me the truth. I always thought you were a secret and confirmed Bunburyist. And now I know for certain.
Bunburyist? What on earth do you mean by Bunburyist?
I'll explain that to you when you explain to me why you're Frank in the town and Johnny in the country.
Very well. The late Mr. Thomas Cardew, who was a kind gentleman, found me and adopted me when I was 5, and made me in his will to be the guardian of the granddaughter, Miss Claire Cardew. Well, Claire, who now addresses me as her uncle out of respect that you couldn't possibly understand, and lives in my place in the country with a personal tutor, Miss Prism.
Yes. That still doesn't quite explain why you're Johnny in the country and Frank in the town.
Oh, Andrew, I don't think you'll be able to understand why. When you're a guardian, you have to assume a very high moral tone on all subjects. Man has a high moral tone can't maintain health nor happiness. In order to get up in town, I've always tend to have a younger brother named Frank, who lives in Albany and gets into awful predicaments. That, Andrew, is the truth. Pure and simple.
Oh, the truth is rarely pure and never simple. Now, what you really are is a Bunburyist. I was quite right in saying it. In fact, you're the most advanced Bunburyist I've ever known.
What do you mean?
Well, you've invented an invaluable younger brother called Frank, so that you may come to the town as often as you like. I have also invented a permanently invalid ally called Bunbury, so that I may go into the country as often as I like. If it wasn't for Bunbury's extraordinary health, for example, I wouldn't be able to dine with you at the Ritz tonight, for I'd planned with Aunt Augusta for over a week now.
I haven't asked you to go anywhere with me tonight.
Yes, I know, you're terribly careless about sending out your invitations.
You should dine with Aunt Augusta.
I don't have any intention of doing so. And anyhow, now I know you're a Bunburyist, I want to talk to you about Bunbury.
I'm not a Bunburyist at all. If Gwen accepts him, I'm going to kill my brother. I think I'll kill him anyway. Claire's getting a little too interested. It's rather boring. So I'm going to get rid of Frank. And I strongly suggest you do the same with your invalid friend with that absurd name.
Nothing will make me part with Bunbury. And besides, a man who marries unknown Bunbury is a very tedious time of it.
Well, that's nonsense. If I marry Gwendolen, I surely want to know Bunbury.
Then your wife will. My friend, what you don't understand in marriage is that 3 is company, 2 is nothing. Ah, that must be Aunt Augusta and Gwen. Now, if I get Aunt Augusta out of the room for 10 minutes, you can have some time with Gwen. Can we dine at the Ritz tonight?
I suppose so.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Andrew.
Aunt Augusta.
I hope you are behaving very well.
I was feeling very well.
Well, that's not quite the same thing. In fact, the two things rarely go together.
Gosh, you're looking smart.
I'm always smart, am I not, Frank?
You're quite perfect, Gwendolen.
I hope I'm not, but that would leave no room for development, and I intend to develop in any direction.
Andrew, I'll now have a cup of tea and one of those nice vol au vents you promised me.
Certainly, Aunt Augusta.
Won't you sit by me, Gwendolen?
Thanks, Mother, but I'm quite comfortable where I am.
Andrew, my vol au vents.
Good heavens! No vol-au-vents! Get out! I'm terribly sorry, Aunt Augusta, about the lack of vol-au-vents. Apparently they ran out on popular demand.
It's quite all right, Andrew. I had some crumpets at Mrs. Harbury's. I told that woman's living entirely for pleasure now.
What's her address?
Pardon?
Your tea!
Oh, thank you.
I'm terribly sorry, Aunt Augusta, but I sadly won't be able to dine with you this evening. It's a huge bore and a great disappointment to me, but I've just had a phone call saying that my poor friend Bunbury is very ill again. They seem to think I should be with him.
It's very strange. This Mr. Bunbury seems to suffer from curiously bad health.
Yes, poor Bunbury. He's a dreadful train track enthusiast.
Well, I must say, Andrew, that I think it is high time that Mr. Bunbury made up his mind as to whether he was going to live or to die.
Good God!
This whole indecision with the question is completely absurd. Nor do I in any way approve of this sympathy with invalids. Ugh. I consider it morbid. Health. Health is the primary duty of life. I'm always telling that to your poor uncle, but he doesn't seem to take much notice, as far as any improvements in his ailments goes. I'd be much obliged if you could ask Mr. Bunbury from me if he could not have any sort of relapse on Saturday, for I require on you to arrange my music for me.
I will speak to Bunbury, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you.
If he is still conscious. And I can promise you he'll be quite alright on Saturday. Ah! I can show you the mixtape I've made if you'd like to come with me for a moment.
Excellent. Ugh. Gwendolen, behave yourself and watch my bag. Now, Andrew, who do we have on this fine mixtape that you are curating for me?
Well, Aunt Augusta, I think you're going to quite enjoy them. Have you ever heard of the Beach Boys?
Lovely weather we're having.
Please don't talk about the weather, Frank. Whenever people talk about the weather, I always feel they mean something else that makes me quite
I
nervous.
do mean something else.
I thought so. In fact, I'm never wrong.
I'd like to be allowed to take advantage of Mrs. Brackland's temporary absence. Gwendolen, ever since I've met you, I've adored you more than any girl.
Yes, I'm quite aware, and I often wish that in public you'd be more expressive. You've always had an irresistible fascination. Even before I met you, I was far from indifferent to you. We live in an age of ideals, and my ideal has always been to love someone in the name of Frank. There is something about that name that inspires absolute confidence. When Andrew first mentioned to me that he had a friend called Frank, I knew I was destined to love you.
You really love me, Gwendolen.
Passionately.
Oh, darling, you don't know who you me.
My own Frank.
Yes. But you don't mean to say that you couldn't love me if my name wasn't Frank?
But your name is Frank.
Yes, of course. But supposing it was something else. Do you mean to say you couldn't love me then?
That's clearly a theoretical speculation. And like most theoretical speculations, has very little reference to reality.
Personally, darling, to speak quite honestly, I don't much like the name Frank. I don't think it suits me at all. I must say, I think there are other much nicer names out there. I think Johnny, for example, is a rather seductive name.
Johnny.
Yes.
Johnny. Oh, Johnny! Oh, Johnny! Oh, Johnny! Oh, Johnny! Johnny? No, I've encountered several Johnnies, and they all, without exception, were rather dull. The only really safe name is Frank.
Oh, God. Why must they christened at once?
What?
I mean, we must get married at once. There's no time to lose.
Married, Frank?
Oh, well, surely. Well, you know that I love you, and you've led me to believe that you're absolutely indifferent towards me.
I adore you, but you haven't proposed to me yet. Nothing has been said at all about marriage.
Well, may I propose to you now?
I think it would be an honourable opportunity, but it's only fair to tell you quite frankly beforehand that I'm fully determined to accept you.
Oh, Gwen.
Yes? What have you got to say to me?
You know what I've got to say to you.
Yes, but you don't say it.
Gwendolyn, will you marry me?
Oh, of course I will, darling. How long have you been about it?
That surely was a delightful playlist, Andrew. Who was that last time? Was it Darren? They were... Mr. Worthing, what on earth are you doing down there? Stand up when I'm talking to you!
Mother, I beg you leave us be. This is no place for you. And besides, Mr. Worthing's not quite finished yet.
Finished what?
I'm engaged to marry to Frank, Mother.
Excuse me, you are not engaged to anyone. When you do become engaged, I or your father, should his health permit him, shall be fully informed beforehand. And now, I have a few questions to put towards you, Mr. Worthing. While I'm making these inquiries, you, Gwendolyn, shall wait outside for me in the car.
Mother!
To the car! No! You can take a seat next to me if you like, Mr. Worthing.
Thank you, Mrs. Bracknell. First standing.
I feel bound to tell you that you are not down on my list of eligible young men. Although I do share the same list as the dear Duchess of Kent. We work together, in fact. However, should your answers be what a truly affectionate mother requires, I might enter your name. Do you smoke?
Oh, well, yes, I must admit I smoke.
I'm glad to hear it. A man always needs an occupation of some kind. There are far too many idle men in London as it is. Now, Mr. Worthing, I've always been of the opinion that when a man is ready to get married, he should know either everything or nothing. Which do you know?
I know nothing, Mrs. Bracknell.
I'm pleased to hear it. I do not approve of anything that tampers with natural ignorance. Ignorance is like a delicate, exotic fruit. Touch it, and the bloom is gone.
Yes.
The whole concept of modern education is radically unsound. Fortunately, here in England, education produces no effect whatsoever. What's your income?
Oh, between 20 and 25,000 a year.
Do you have any land?
Oh, well, I own a country house, with some land. Of course, attached to about 15 acres here or there.
A country house? Yes. How many bedrooms? Oh, sorry, a bit excited. Of a townhouse, I hope. A girl with a simple, unspoiled nature like Gwendolyn could hardly be expected to live in the country.
Well, I own a house in Belgrave Square.
What number?
149.
The unfashionable side. I thought there was something, however, that could be easily altered.
Did you mean the fashion or the side?
Both, if necessary, I presume. What are your politics?
I'm afraid I don't really have any. I'm a very liberal social democrat.
They count as Tories. Are your parents living?
I'm afraid I lost both my parents.
To lose one parent, Mr. Worthing, would be considered a misfortune.
Yes.
But to lose both looks like carelessness.
What?
What was your father's occupation? He was evidently a working man. Blue collar or white collar, or did he rise from the ranks of aristocracy?
I'm afraid I don't know, Mr. Bracknell. The fact is, I said I'd lost both my parents. It'd be more accurate to say that they seem to have lost me. I don't know who I am by birth. I was found.
Found?
Yes. The late Mr. Thomas Cardew, a kind gentleman, found and gave me the name Worthing, because I had a first-class ticket in his pocket at the time.
Where did this charitable gentleman find you?
In a handbag.
A handbag?
Yes, Mrs. Bracknell, a handbag.
In in what vicinity did this Mr. Jarms or Thomas Card you find this handbag?
In the cloakroom at Victoria Station. It was given to him in mistake for his own.
The cloakroom in Victoria Station.
Yes. The Brighton one.
The line is relevant. I must confess I'm bewildered by what you have just told me, Mr. Worthing. To be born or bred in a handbag, whether it had handles or not, seems to me to be a disrespect towards the contemporary decencies of family life. As for where the handbag was found, the cloakroom at a railway station might serve to conceal some sort of social indiscretion, but could hardly be regarded as an assured basis for a recognised position in good society.
Well, may I ask you then, what would you advise him to do?
I would strongly advise you, Mr. Worthing, to try and find some relatives as soon as possible and to locate at least one parent of either sex before asking for someone's daughter's hand in marriage.
I don't see how that's possible. I could use the handbag at any moment. It's in my cloakroom at home. I really think that should satisfy you, Mrs. Bracknell.
Me? Sir? What on earth has it got to do with me? You could hardly ever imagine that I or Mr. Bracknell would ever dream of allowing our only daughter to marry into a cloakroom and form an alliance with a parcel? Good day, Mr. Worthing.
It's a nice day for a white wedding.
For God's sake, Andrew, don't sing that grim tune.
You don't mean to say it didn't go off all right? Gwen didn't refuse you. I didn't know Gwen ever refused anyone.
Gwen is perfectly all right. As far as she is concerned, we are engaged to be married. Yet her mother is perfectly unbearable. Never have I met such an alien. I'm not quite sure Mrs. Bracknell is their queen. Regardless, she is a monster without being a myth, which is rather unfair. Oh, I'm sorry, Andrew. I suppose I shouldn't abuse your relatives like that in front of you.
My friend, I love hearing my relations abused. That's the only reason I put up with them in the first place. By the way, did you tell Gwen the truth about being Johnny in the country and Frank in the town?
My friends, the truth isn't quite the sort of thing you tell to a nice girl like that.
But what about your brother? What about the reckless Frank?
That is perfectly all right. By the end of the week, I shall have got rid of Frank, to have died in Paris by a severe chill.
But what about your ward? I thought you said little Claire was quite close to you.
Oh, Claire's not a silly romantic girl.
Now, if you want to go to the Ritz, we really must go. Oh, Gwen, I thought you'd left.
Annie, can I turn your back? I have something to say to Frank. Frank, I fear we may never be married, and from the expression on Mother's face, I fear we never shall. I may marry someone else, and marry often, but nothing she could ever do can alter my eternal devotion to you.
Oh, my love.
Your name has an irresistible fascination. The simplicity of your character makes you wonderfully inconceivable to me. Your town address at the Albany I have. What is your address in the country?
The Manor House, Watson, Hertfordshire.
Gwendolyn, get back here!
I will call you daily. Andy, you may turn around now.
Thanks, I already have.
Gwendolyn, I will not call again!
7 p.m. The Ritz. Don't be late, Andrew.
Lane, pack my bags. I'm a little worried about poor Bunbury.